Right. I don't know about you guys, but it's been a while, and I've never seen things in the UK as crazy as they are as it is now. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like there's now two sides uh, politically, mainly due to what we've seen recently in the UK. So Tommy Robinson, who's been perceived largely due to his own characteristics and actions as a far right uh, public person. I guess I can put it that way. And if you're not privy to the UK, just recently, this past weekend, there's been a march by this person, Tommy Robinson. You can Google him, you can find out all you need, or all you want to know about him, and you can reference check and you can check what I'm saying. So he held a march, and apparently I don't know whether he was there or not, but I know it's been largely publicized as him organizing this march. So this march has been primarily to campaign. I don't know if I'll use that, but maybe that's a more diplomatic word, against the sort of, I guess, immigration stance, or rather lack of control on immigration in this country. That's what's being purported, anyway, or said, if you want to call it. At least from the people that are on the far right. I'm still not really sure I understand what far right means anymore, because it seems like far right is not what we used to know it as. It's kind of the people that used to be on the right has sort of attracted a lot of people that are also kind of in the middle. Even some people from the left who have felt that the current government has been quite disingenuous, lack of a better word, in the way that they've handled this whole immigration thing. And now that there's this whole rhetoric about how there's too many immigrants coming and they're taking all over the country, and people are saying that they don't recognize London anymore because London has become this cesspit of non-English people. I mean, call it what you are. There's been so many synonyms and phrases and adjectives used to describe, at least by people in the far right. Far right. I don't know what that is anymore. Of what people think is happening to this country. And I've been here a long time. I'm born in this country. Lived somewhere else for a few years and then came back here and settled. Paid my taxes. I will say I don't support English rugby or English football. That's a bit controversial. But hey, I'm an international guy, with African and Caribbean roots. So that's at least my standing anyway. But anyway, back to the subject matter. The subject matter is this: the UK has been changing, and there has been a shift. Whether you look at it culturally, maybe not as much culturally. Yes, maybe some people say culturally. Spiritually, yes, if you're a Christian and you go to church and you're religious and all that stuff, you can kind of sense the shift in this country. Um, and more recently, obviously, there's been a lot of flags popping up, St. George's flag as well as the Union Jack flags, and people have said that, well, people have been using these flags as a sort of political tool. Some people are saying, well, your people are putting up these flags. You people are putting up these flags because you're showing your distrust and anger with the current government, because they've really not put a handle or gotten a handle on immigration and blah de blah de blah and all this kind of stuff. And so people are now putting up flags, believe it or not, the St. George's flags and Union Jack flags, as a way of protesting. Hey, if you want to do it, that's fine. I'm not here to make this a political agenda. I'm just here to share my thoughts and be prescriptive. Prescriptive? No, let's say descriptive. At least to you guys, and share what I feel is happening anyway. This is not to. I'm not using this as a platform to show my political alliance or political position or whatever. I'm just here to comment on what I'm saying. This is my channel. So if you come to my channel, you're going to hear me say what I want to say, when I want to say it, and mostly be saying it by myself. So there you go. So yeah, so this is just my 2 cents. So on this whole far right thing, and this Tommy Robinson march, because people obviously went out, particularly in London, I think it was, I can't remember who it was, to protest about the current immigration in this country because people think it's too much. And believe it or not, this Cybertruck giant, this tech giant, Mr. Elon Musk, shows up. Well, he doesn't show up in person, but apparently he was having a live stream with Tommy Robinson. How this happened and how it apparently was screened on a big screen. So whether Tommy Robinson was actually there in the general vicinity, or whether he sort of organized this thing and decided to sit in a room, in his house or whatever, and have a live stream with Mr. Tesla, and then have it live streamed, it's a bit weird, if you ask me. But that's what happens. So, yeah, so how do we feel about that? I'll tell you one thing that's definitely happening is that, it's caused a bit of a divide. Or it's continuing to cause a bit of divide. And do I think this thing is going to escalate in terms of the whole rhetoric around this whole immigration thing? Possibly. Is it getting worse? Possibly. Will it ever lead to some kind of violence, dare I say? Possibly. Now, with some of the words that were shared, particularly about with Mr. Elon Musk, was some might say that some of the things that he said might be actually inciting violence. Might. And I don't know. I think we're just in a position now where a lot of people are starting to maybe take a closer look at themselves and perhaps think, is UK the place where it once used to be? Is it time to leave, especially when there's a lot of other countries, maybe some countries that previously we were thought of as racist, were probably more welcoming than some countries in the West now, in the UK and the US. And I'm talking like basically like about Arab countries. I'm talking about Middle Eastern countries. Yeah, is there conflict there? Yeah, sure, there's conflicts. But you see a bit of a shift in terms of how the Western world, I would say. When I say Western world, I'm referring to countries like obviously the UK, most parts of Europe, US, and all that kind of stuff. People might say, well, it's always been like that. It's just never been on show, which is what a lot of people will be saying now. That, people have always kind of felt a way about that there's always been racism. Obviously, there's always been racism in the Western country. Listen, there's going to be racism everywhere. But I think what's happening now is that people are seeing it a lot more transposed, if I can use that word, magnified, illuminated. Ooh, that's a word, illuminated. In places like the UK, and not just the UK, it's safe to say that the emergence of the far right is more than it ever has been. And people are coming out more, and with so much rhetoric that's coming out more on that side, that right side, it's leading certain people to have certain beliefs to be more amplified and be braver about sharing their feelings, both in a verbal and physical sense. Now, people might suggest that, or people might say that, well, it's not all of us. Some people might say, not me, them, but it's because people will say that, well, we've trusted the left or the Labour government, whatever you want to call it, for a long time to do the right thing, and they just haven't. Some people will argue that, look, the Tories didn't make it better. The left will actually argue that, well, the Tories made it worse under their government. Immigration didn't get better. But look, I mean, it's all gone crazy, and I think the point of it is this: is a lot of people would be descendants of people that had come here in the was it not 40s, was it 40s, yeah, I just kind of post World War II, especially in countries like the UK where people came from from Africa and the Caribbean, most of the Caribbean. We talk about the Windrush generation, who were invited to come over and help because obviously people would need it to fill out jobs in places like nursing and transport and all that kind of stuff. But the main crux is this: is what are we seeing now? There's probably a shift in where people think about going now. A lot of people will be thinking about maybe UK is not the place that it once was before. We look at what's happening with places like in the Middle East, like Qatar, UAE. A lot of people have gone there, and now it's doing a lot of jobs. A lot of companies are going to places like that. So yeah, I just wanted to come on there and share some of my thoughts, and I think that it's important to have these discussions and these conversations because it's like, you know, where is everything pointing to? So that's kind of what's going on now in the UK and a lot of the West, and things that are happening in the US and stuff. There's a lack of control. Oh gosh, the rain's coming down now. And then I think the second part is that there's a shift. There's a shift in where people will probably feel safer now. Maybe people are going to start asking themselves the question about whether things that we've always thought about places in the West, or whether the desire to migrate to sort of those countries is still the norm anymore, because people just don't feel as welcome anymore in places that they thought they might be. So yeah, it's a strange place to be. It's a strange thing to think about. But yeah, just be interested to hear your guys' thoughts if you have any. And oh, by the way, if you're watching this for the first time, or you have watched some of these videos before and you're not subscribed, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Also click the notifications bells. The notification bell just means every time I post a video, then you get a notification that it's out. And yeah, why not share this video with your friends? See if they think the same. See what they think about everything that's happening. But yeah, I just think it's yeah, it's a sad place that we're in now, and I think one of the most important things is, the decisions that we make now will affect our kids' future. That's now and in the future. So yeah, so I just wanted to share somebody that's in the minority, as somebody would call it, is that that look, there's definitely a shift happening with the political and political instability that's happening in places like the US and the UK, and all that's happening with this far right. And the second thing is that maybe we need to be thinking about, not just being comfortable with our jobs and our way of living, but thinking more about the future in terms of, especially if you're from an ethnic minority, it's like what kind of future do we want for our kids? Do we want them to stay in an environment that's like this, to grow up in this environment and witness it? And do we want them asking us the same questions in the future and saying, well, you saw what was happening, why did you choose not to do anything? And it might be that maybe more people should be speaking out about this kind of stuff, because it's just, at the moment, it just looks like it's headed one direction, and that direction does not look good. So I think that's probably the most thing. What should we be doing now? Not to change that rhetoric. Let's be honest. I don't think anybody can do anything about it. Maybe people will argue that there's something we can do about it. But what do you think we should be doing? What should we be changing our focus? Is it a thing that maybe we should be building wealth? I don't know what wealth does, but to change our circumstances, but do more of our communities need to get together, rally together, create our own political party. Not me specifically, but I'm talking about others. Do people just get up and move and go to places where they feel more open and more invited? Because let's face it, there's clear evidence to suggest there are certain countries that are more inviting right now than like the places like the UK. So yeah, so just interested to hear your guys' thoughts. Let me know And yeah, hope you're having a good day otherwise. Peace.